I'll be honest, I had no idea that people were tracking their kids, and sometimes their spouses, like radio-tagged dolphins, until I got a comment about Life360 in my corporate spyware bossware video. Life360 is not an app used to track the air dates of Lifetime original movies. Instead, it's a mobile app designed to keep families connected through real-time location sharing. Even though it's pitched as a way to know that your kids are safe, coordinate pickups, track lost phones, and make sure your teenager definitely didn't lie about going to their friend's house, it's been called Find My iPhone for Families. And on the surface, that sounds kind of useful, right? But once you look past the pastel UI and carefully worded peace of mind promises, things get real creepy, real fast. Welcome back to Dad Ruins Everything. Recently, I ruined Bossware, the invasive software that your boss uses to spy on you. Sucks, right? Well, today I ruined Life360, the family safety app that allows you to do the same thing to your kids. You can tell me in the comments how being responsible for your children makes this completely different. But remember, I'm a dad too. Life360 can notify your entire circle if your phone hits 5% battery. It's a digital helicopter parent that sees everything and never needs to sleep. It's used by over 50 million people. Oh, and it's easy to outsmart if you're using it on reasonably bright or resourceful people. Sweet Lord, let's ruin this thing. When it comes to the real appeal, I guess I'll start out with something a little rough. Life360 doesn't exist because you want to make sure your kid didn't get kidnapped on the way to Algebra 2. It exists because you don't trust them, or at the very least, the people who use this app have decided that they don't have to trust family members if they can just track them instead. There are more features, and I'll cover them in this episode. But Life360 isn't about emergencies. It's about certainty. Certainty that your child is where they said they'd be. Certainty that your partner actually left work at 5 p.m. Certainty that nobody's lying to you. Which is ironic, because Life360 doesn't foster honesty. It incentivizes deception. Life360's capabilities are possible because almost everyone has smartphones. A smartphone is equipped with a GPS receiver, an accelerometer, and an always-on connection to the internet. Combine those capabilities with fear, suspicion, and capitalism, and you'll get an app that tracks real-time location down to a few feet, stores your location history, alerts other users when you arrive or leave a location, otherwise known as geofencing, detects driving behavior, speeding, rapid acceleration, hard braking, and phone usage, sends crash detection alerts, and monitors battery level and phone usage patterns, because you want to know if your loved one lied about their phone dying. I understand the desire to know where my kids are, especially at the times that I think that they may be at higher risk of something happening to them. But platforms from Apple and Google already have location sharing, for free. Applications like Snapchat can do it too, also for free. So what's different about Life360? Well, for one, you can't easily turn it off. For another, Life360 isn't just sharing the current position of the people it's tracking. It's also recording the locations over time and storing them up to 30 days. The fact that the access to this data and the retention range is tied to the subscriber tier should tell you what people really want to do with this app. While understanding that every situation is different, it's safe to say that tracking someone all the time isn't parenting. At best, it's project managing their experience. At worst, you're their parole officer. But most kids are neither projects nor are they parolees. Apps like Life360 don't teach kids responsibility. They just teach kids how to avoid getting caught. It's easy to say that you're promoting safety, but safety without trust is just control, and control without dialogue creates secrecy. There's a reason that teens overwhelmingly hate this app, and it's not just because they're teens. It's because it turns every parent into a digital warden and every outing into a parole check-in. What Life360 is really doing is monetizing parental fear. They don't make money off of your family's happiness. They sell tiered subscriptions, partner with Tile and other surveillance hardware companies, and build features like driver reports and emergency dispatch. Here are the plans and their features. They're building a whole ecosystem of tools to help you monitor your family, and they're hoping that you'll never stop paying for it. Because once you think you need it, the idea of not watching your kids feels like negligence. And that's the real trick, turning fear into a feature and the features into a monthly charge. Life360 operates in countries around the world, and in the US the plans range from free to $25 a month. The feature list in the higher plans looks long, but many of the extras are redundant services that you already get with modern cars, a good credit card, decent car insurance, and some home insurance plans. But your subscription isn't the only way that Life360 makes money off of you. In 2021, an investigation by The Markup found that Life360 was one of the largest providers of location data to the surveillance marketing industry, selling precise location data on tens of millions of users, including kids, to data brokers like Cubic, Xmode, and others. They claim to stop after getting caught. But even now, the app collects enormous amounts of location and behavioral data that could be accessed by employees, breached by hackers, or handed over to law enforcement with little transparency. Your family's whereabouts? Marketable data. Your kids' after-school hangouts? Monetizable metadata. Don't worry though, I'm sure they'll use it responsibly. But what about the real consequences? It's tempting to say, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to hide. But that ignores the actual impact these apps have on families, and especially teenagers. If we want to talk about the fallout, teens report increased anxiety and stress from being constantly watched. According to a 2021 Common Sense Media survey, 42% of teens using Life360 or similar apps said it made them feel like they had no freedom. 36% said it made them feel like they couldn't make mistakes without getting punished. Over-monitoring damages trust. A University of Central Florida study found that surveillance-based parenting was linked to lower parent-child relationship quality, especially during adolescence, at a time when autonomy is crucial for psychological development. It makes kids more likely to lie. A study in developmental psychology found that teens who felt over-controlled were more likely to engage in secrecy, lying, or digital manipulation, like using GPS spoofing apps or leaving phones behind to avoid tracking. And it encourages app evasion techniques. Reddit threads, TikTok videos, and YouTube tutorials on how to trick Life360 have millions of views. Teens now use burner phones, VPNs, and mock location apps just to reclaim a sense of privacy. So instead of promoting honesty, Life360 creates a game of digital hide and seek where the parent is always thinking they're winning, and the kid always knows the real score. But I can hear you asking, what if there's an emergency? Yes, Life360 might help in rare cases, car crashes, lost phones, things like that. But so could Find My Device, which works with both Apple and Google. Location sharing, also part of the platforms that Apple and Google have. Emergency SOS features, geofencing, and youth driver features in some cars using built-in telematics systems. Automatic crash notification systems in many cars, also using built-in telematics systems or paired phones, depending on which one you have. Or, hear me out, communication. Technology should help enhance connection, not replace it with silent monitoring. The app turns every family interaction into an unspoken question. Where were you? Even if you weren't doing anything wrong, it makes you feel like you were. Remember that I said in the opening that you could pretty easily outsmart Life360? Well, it's true. I wasn't a bad kid, but I was a smart one. I would not have just accepted Life360 quietly tracking everything, and lots of kids out there feel the same way. Life360 has sparked a thriving underground economy of location spoofing apps, GPS faking tutorials, and accelerometer hacks. Here's how kids are outsmarting their digital ankle monitors. GPS spoofing apps. Apps like Fake GPS, iSpoofer, and VPNA can simulate your location anywhere on Earth. With a few taps, teens can make it look like they're at school while they're actually at Taco Bell, their friend's house, or anywhere else. Some even set their location to Antarctica to trigger parental panic, which is pretty hilarious. And a small subset of teens are even buying external GPS hardware devices that can broadcast fake locations. Dual phones and burner devices. Savvy teens leave their Life360 tracked phone at a friend's house or in a locker. Meanwhile, they carry a secondary phone with them free of digital surveillance. Life360 sees them safely at home while they're out living their actual life. Motion and accelerometer spoofing. On both Android and Apple phones, it's possible to fake accelerometer data. Accelerometers provide information about changes in orientation and acceleration in multiple axes. It's generally used to let your phone know when you want it to change the rotation of your screen, but it can also be used for tracking acceleration and deceleration in a car, as well as the last time your kid touched their phone. Once you have control over accelerometer data, Life360's driving detection and other non-GPS motion functions are no longer to be trusted. Battery kill switch. Teens have learned that disabling GPS and background app refresh, force quitting Life360, or just letting the battery die instantly halts tracking. They then claim that their phone died or had a bug, and if you're a parent who's never heard that excuse before, welcome to your first day. Life360 does have countermeasures. They try to detect spoofing with in-app alerts for GPS signal jumps, notifications when signal services are turned off, and battery tracking to detect suspicious phone shutdowns. But for every app update, there's a Reddit thread titled, "New Life360 Spoof. It works in 2025. This is an arms race that you can't win because Life360 doesn't run on their own bespoke closed hardware. Each block spawns new workarounds, and your kid or spouse doesn't have to be smart enough or knowledgeable enough to figure any of this stuff out. They just have to follow the steps of a tutorial written by someone who did figure it out." It begs the question of what you should do instead, and if hearing all of that gave you a wave of anxiety, but you still genuinely want to protect your family, you can have open conversations about safety and responsibility. Use temporary location sharing, like Google Maps or iOS messages, when needed. You can teach digital boundaries and model privacy-respecting behavior. And you can set up regular check-ins that require dialogue and not digital breadcrumbs. Trust is a skill, not a setting. The bottom line is that Life360 markets itself as a family safety tool. But what it actually offers is micromanagement, data harvesting, and the illusion of control. It doesn't raise responsible adults. It raises kids who are better at tech evasion than communication. It doesn't prevent danger. It commodifies anxiety. To be fair, there are certainly use cases where tracking your child like a duffel bag of ransom cash makes sense. All situations are different, with some of those situations meriting pretty extreme measures. And if you have a Life360 story that you'd like to share with the class, illustrating how useful it is or how awful it is, please drop it in the comments below. Just remember that most kids aren't Ferris Bueller, or dolphins. So I hope that Life360 is sufficiently ruined for you, or for the someone you're about to forward this to who swears that their teenager loves it. If you found this episode educational, entertaining, or just validating because you were this close to installing Life360, hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have an awesome and unsupervised day.